Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat video. And today I got an extra treat for you, and this is going to be a tier list for all the Mortal Kombat 11 characters, including DLC. For who is like, it's like a tier list for the luckality perks, aka what character has is best for insta kills, right? Whether you're going against bosses or anything. Who has the best insta-kill potential? That is what I'm looking over right now. So the reason why I'm doing this is because they have a lot of different moves, right? And some are easier to, how do I say it? Activate that luckality perk, right? Sadly, I can't go into exactly why. I do have a few videos, over a lot of these characters. So feel free to check those out on the channel. However, I can't really go into full detail because I can't risk getting a copyright strike because of greedy YouTubers who think they're big YouTubers, even though they're really not and they're pathetic. But, we're going to make this anyways. All right. So what we're going to do is we have, 5 tiers. We have the best, right, which are people who can basically almost, kill them in under, 3 seconds or so on their first hit, consistently, or, it's super easy to get, right? Next is going to be great, aka, it's pretty easy to get, but it might have to put a little work into it, right? Good is like, okay, maybe, it's your favorite character, but, they're not that good at getting it, but, they get it sort of often, right? Usable is they might get it activating, but you're going to have to put some work in to get it. And don't use is like, hey, this person doesn't have a very good moves that trigger luckality. Right? So to repeat myself, best is like they do it basically instantly, and it's really easy to get. Great is, you have to put a little bit of work in, but, overall, it's going to do most of it for you. Good is like, okay, you're going to have to put more work in, but, it's like 50-50. Usable is, it's better just to not use them, but don't use is like, hey, these guys are just trash with luckality. Not a great idea. And this is going to be based on special moves because that's what triggers, brutalities. Alright, if you don't know what luckality is, I have a video going over what luckality is, so feel free to check that out. But let's actually go ahead and get into it. Alright, so let's make this. So we're going to start off with Rambo, because Rambo is the most broken, so I'm just going to instantly get up here on the best, because obviously this guy is insane. If you've ever seen this, he absolutely destroys opponents in like less than a second. It's unblockable. Literally one move, 3 hits on your controller, and the match is over. There's nothing the enemy can do. It's just over, okay? So, yeah. That one's pretty easy to go across. Alright. Next, gonna be Melina. So Melina has quite a bit of different moves she can use. I'm gonna use their best moves, right? So obviously, many characters have different, moves that can activate luckality. However, some, I'm gonna use their best move to like represent them, right? So in my opinion, Melina's would be the one dagger one where she throws on the ground, goes up, and brings it back down. That one triggers pretty often. So for now, I'm gonna put her in good, because it activates usually after like 4 or 5 hits, which is okay. Like as I said, good is like that. You have to put some work in. But on harder combatants, it might be a little bit more difficult. All right, next is Rain. So Rain is actually probably going to be in the great tier. The reason why I say great is because he has a lot of different moves that are all really good at activating this, but you do have to put a little bit of work in. He has like his purple rain, he has this lightning one, which can basically like infinitely hit him against it, and he has like this water ball one, which are all really good at activating this thing. When I was making this build, it was like, oh shoot, I'm getting these, these game clips extremely easily. So yeah, he's pretty good at getting it. Oh, great at getting it. All right, next is Robocop. So Robocop is interesting. So I'm kind of split on great and good, because I'm gonna put him in good, but in front of Melina. The reason why I say that is because he's a very far-ranged character, right? So you're gonna zone out. Right? You have to zone your opponent with Robocop, but that can be a good thing, because obviously you're keeping them at a distance, and a lot of his brutalities are with far range. However, most of them are like one hits, right? Like this missile, his cannon. It can hit him multiple times, but it's like right on that fence of great and good. Definitely a viable character, but once again, not exactly something I choose, just because, he shoots one rocket, he shoots the cannon, one time, which it can't, if you amplify it, it won't count. So you have to shoot it normally. And his gun that shoots, you know, on the ground, that can, but like for me, it just didn't activate much. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you know, he's in between good and great. All right, next is Shiva. Shiva, she's kind of like what Robocop is, but you know, actually, the reason I'm putting her here is because, well, she has, you know, some pretty good moves, but you have to be like, you have to kind of work to get them per se, other than maybe the dragon drop, but the dragon drop didn't always activate a lot, so, you know, it's a broken move, especially against AIs, because AIs are dumb as hell when it comes to it, but like, you know, it still only hits them like one time, so you only have one chance to activate that brutality. So with that, I'm gonna have to put her into good tier. All right, Fujin. And so I'm trying to think of Fujin and how much brutalities I was able to get with him. I don't remember much. I remember if I made anything, it was hard. Like, remember he has his grabs. But that's about it. So I'm gonna put him in usable. I remember making videos and it was hard. Spawn. All right. So Spawn. Trying to think. He has quite a bit of different moves. He's similar to Rambo, but he has like, you know, actually, he's great. I just remembered one of his moves. So the reason why I say Spawn is great is because he has this gun move where he like goes over and shoots the ground with his guns, and that hits the opponent like 6-7 times. So with each hit that happens, it has a chance of activating that brutality. So it's actually a pretty good move because you hit him a lot, right? So definitely on the great tier. All right, Joker. So he's gonna be similar to Robocop because he has a lot of good zoning moves that go with brutalities, but once again, they're all like basically single hits. They actually are pretty easy to get because you can, you know, roll some augments that are really easy to make it kill your opponent quickly. However, once again, it only shoots a few times. Other than if you have certain Jinsei augments that allow you to shoot like the thing multiple times, then it's might be between good and great, like similar to Robocop. But yeah, he's probably at the good tier. Next is Sindel. Great. So the reason why, actually, okay, so she originally would be great, right? But with this certain augment build, she's the best. So there's this augment, right, build that you can have where you can basically infinite your opponent in the corner, right? With like, you just infinitely hit them with crushing blows. And if you slap luckality on that, you know, you can just have them infinitely in a corner and they literally cannot move. So, broken, right? You can just have them in a corner until they eventually die. So yeah, great. She's definitely up there. Nowhere near Rambo because Rambo's broken. But once you hit the opponent one time, you can infinite them. So, broken. Next is Terminator. I'm trying to think because he has this. I'm trying to think of all of the things that he has, and I'm kind of debating on hitting him on usable or good. Because I'm trying to think. I'm gonna put him on usable. The reason I put him in usable is because he's slow, right? So he's more of a slow character, and his brutalities that you can activate take some work, right? The easiest one to get with Terminator is probably his shotgun one, because you can hit him from basically any range. But the other ones take some work, like his kick, his grabs, his throws, you know, whatever, right? They take some work to get, so I'm gonna put in a more usable section. Next is Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is, I'm gonna put in great. So the reason why I put Sub-Zero is because he comes with a lot of different brutalities, right? And when I was using him, I was able to make a lot of easy builds with this guy. It triggers like a lot, right? Because he has a lot of different moves that can trigger brutalities. So it lets you be able to like more choose what you want to do. He has his snowball one, he has his axe one, he has his, you know, ice. Oh, actually, yeah, he definitely is great because he has this one ice one where he like hits the ice into the ground and you can like hits them several times. So he's definitely on the great section. Go check out my videos on Sub-Zero. I have like 6. He's really good. All right, next is Sonya. So I'm trying to think of all the moves Sonya has. I'm on a mix. Probably good, but in front of Joker. Why can't I switch that? So the reason why I put her here is because she has some pretty good moves. However, her best one is definitely her rings. However, once again, those rings are only so good. You know, they can only shoot so much. But they are pretty good. You can shoot them pretty fast. AI is not great, you know, at blocking them, but you have to put some work into it. All right, next is Scarlet. So Scarlet is interesting because once again, she's one of those characters similar to Sub-Zero that have a lot of different brutalities that are easy to get with special moves. And you can hit them quite a bit of times. So I'm actually going to put her in the great because she has some amazing far range. And then if they get close, she also has brutalities that can trigger at close range, right? And they're just normal combos. They don't even have to be special moves. But she also has a lot of good things like the one blood trail, the blood ball, the normal blood attack. Like all of those are good moves. You can just spam at your opponent. And if they get close, you can hit them with your close ranges like the blood cell or whatever. And those all come with brutality. So it's like really good. Shao Kahn. For luckality. Trying to think of his moves. This might be controversial, but I would not say use Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn does not have a lot of good brutalities that are easy to get, especially against harder opponents. Like you're gonna kind of struggle with Shao Kahn. Once again, he's more of a slower character. His brutalities he has to get usually has to be really close, and you know has to do stuff with them. So I wouldn't fully recommend him. But obviously, you can. But once again, if you're fighting something like, you know, test your luck towers, co-op towers, if you're using Shao Kahn with luckality, not a great option to use. And if you're probably like, okay, how do you beat test your luck towers? I have a good video talking about how to beat like literally all the test your luck towers with every character, so go check that out. Shang Tsung. So Shang Tsung is definitely probably at the great. The reason why I say he's at the great is because similar to Sub-Zero and Scarlet, he has a lot of moves that can come with brutalities at far ranges. Especially with the ninjas one where he can slide, he can shoot the skulls, he can swap souls, you know, he can use that force thing, I forgot what it was called. He has a lot of different ones that are really easy to get, and you can combo off of each other, so really fun. I actually was going to make builds for him, but builds are kind of hard to post right now. Because of things I talked in the beginning of the video. Alright, next is Scorpion. Alright, so Scorpion, yeah, he's definitely great. Probably like right here between Sub-Zero and them, because he comes with a lot of moves that trigger really often and can easily combo into a lot of brutalities. His best one is probably in front of Spawn, because he has this fire one, the fire breath one, and that thing hits your opponent a lot, especially if you amplify it. And if you amplify it, it can still get the brutality, so it definitely is up there. That thing was triggering all the time. None of that, but his teleport is really easy to get, and his chain, easy combos that can activate like 6 times. I'm pretty sure I have a video going over this, so feel free to check that out. Just look up like Scorpion build. Probably one of the first ones. Alright, next is Raiden. So Raiden, I actually can specifically remember making these videos. So he is an interesting character, to say the least. He has a lot of moves, but his moves are easily blockable by your opponent. That's what I remember. I remember missing a lot, but he has some pretty good moves, like his lightning call that was fun to use. But he's probably going to be in good, because you do have to put a little bit of work into getting it. And they only usually hit the opponent 1 or 2 times, but they do activate quite a bit, I will say. So he's probably at the top of good right now. Alright, next is Noob Saibot. He is 100% at the great. I don't know, probably between these. Alright, so the reason why Noob Saibot is insane, because of quite a bit of different moves, right? Most importantly, his teleport move. Right, that thing triggers all the time, because especially if you have the thing that amplifies it, you can it hits your opponent a lot. I usually only have to hit him 1 or 2 times, and the opponent usually gets brutality. Not that, but he has a lot of different moves. I talked about his best one right there, but he has a lot of different moves that can kill his opponent. Feel free to look at my other Noob Saibot luckality builds, because I probably have a lot of those too. Next is Nightwolf. So Nightwolf is a pretty good build. Trying to think exactly where to put him. With his Jinsei augments that increase the radius of the one thing, I'm gonna say he's probably in the great, probably in front of Shang. So if you have his Jinsei augments that increase the radius of his little like beam, I guess, I don't know, like I forgot what it was called, but like that can massively increase how good he is because of this beam is insane, right? It tracks it can track and you just keep spamming that, and especially when the Jinsei augment that increases how often you can do it, like the cooldown, like you can do it, you can spam it, like similar to Sindel, obviously not as fast. But I'm kind of thinking, because it only hits your opponent one time, so he does put a little work into it, and eventually they might kind of get figured out, and they might jump you. All right, next is Liu Kang. He is definitely in the great. So Liu Kang has a ton of moves that can easily trigger. Most his freaking bicycle kick, his flame, and his dragon kick. Those things are super easy, especially the fireball. That one is actually really good because if you amplify it, it just hits the opponent like 5 times or 4 times, and like each time it hits, gives us a chance of getting that brutality. Obviously, the bicycle kick hits a lot too. I don't really need to go too much into that one. He's a really easy character to get brutalities with. Next is Kung Lao. So I'm trying to think of all of his moves. He's actually in the great. Probably like right here. The reason why he's good is because he has a lot of moves that hit the opponent a lot. Like the one thing where he comes down and hits the opponent and then punches them a lot. I forgot what it's called, like the down circle, down B, whatever you play on. Like that one is really good because it hits the opponent a lot, and every time it hits, it can trigger the brutality. Right? Not only that, but he has a lot of far range moves like his Z hat, his normal hat throw. Like he has a lot of moves. His teleport, like each of those come with brutalities that trigger quite often. I can't really rate Chronica. She's not a usable character. All right, next is Kotal Kahn. Kotal Kahn. I'm trying to think of all the ones he has. He does have his Sunbeam, and that's pretty good. That's actually really good, actually, not thinking about it. Especially if you have all the Jinseis, because it does follow them, and I'm actually really depending on putting him in the best or great. I'm probably gonna put him in great, just because he's more of a bigger character, aka he's more slow, right? And obviously, when you activate that beam of light or whatever, you could get hit, right? And especially if you're playing something bigger, you could die pretty easily. But that Sunbeam is pretty good. It can cook your opponent, so it is actually really great. So not that, but it can increase its radius and heals you too. So if they're close to you, you can have some fun. All right, next is going to be the Collector. So trying to think of all the Collector's moves once again. He's kind of an interesting character. So I'd probably put him in the probably in the usable section, just because I remember playing him and he doesn't have a lot of great moves that would hit his opponent very well. Alright, so the reason why Collector is probably going to be in the more usable section is just due to the fact that his hits usually only hit the opponent one time or a few times, like 2 or 3, but they're like grabs and stuff, which are pretty hard to get against bigger opponents, aka more difficult. Next is Katana. So Katana is once again a more interesting character. She does have a lot of moves that can hit your opponents quite a bit, so I'm going to put her in good. I remember using her. She does have that teleport, which activates a lot. She has her fanados. Yeah, she's probably going to be in the good. Top of good, probably. Next is Kano. So Kano, he's actually an interesting character. I'm going to put him at the back of great, because I feel like he's a little better than being good. So the thing with Kano is that he has a lot of moves that can easily combo together. How do I say this? Like luckality triggers on special moves, and a lot of his special moves he can combo into a single combo. So not only do they hit the opponents a lot, but he can, if this luckality doesn't trigger on this move, it could trigger on the next move within the same combo. So he has a lot of that, so he's pretty good. Not only that, but he also has close range and far range combos, so pretty good. Next is Cabal. So Cabal is pretty similar to Kano, as in he can combo a lot, because he has that spin move, which is really good.
I'm actually gonna put him right here because of his far range blades move, where he can throw like 2 or 3. Thing triggers a lot. So he has his spin, his blade throws. He's a pretty good character, pretty solid. All right, next is Johnny Cage. So Johnny Cage, trying to think of all of his moves too. He's an interesting character because his moves hit one time, I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually, the Knuckles one does hit a lot. So just because of that Knuckles move and a few of his Far Ranger moves, I'm going to put him in the Great. Probably in front of Cabal. Probably right there. It's kind of hard to get into, but that's basically what it is. Next is Jax. So I don't remember really making much about Jax. But I do know, or remember that he was a little bit difficult to actually get the brutalities with. So I'm going to put him in the useful section. Not that, but he is, once again, more of a slower character. So you're going to put some work in. Next is Jackie. So I haven't really made much with Jackie. And I haven't really watched any insta-kills with Jackie. Because I don't really watch a lot of other people. So I don't really know where to put her. So I'm going to leave it to you guys where she is. If you guys have seen her, maybe use her a bit. I'm just going to put her in like the middle. Because I don't know where I literally just don't know where she goes. Jade, she's one of the best, right? So the reason why Jade isn't one of the best, right, is because her freaking defense game is insane. And she can, you know, how often she can just spam that, especially the one attack with the thing that she throws, that like little beam across the ground. That thing is insane. Right, like I kill the opponent so fast. Not only that, but she has a lot of other good moves, like the kick, like just amazing. Like I use Jade a lot just because she's really good with getting kills. I remember I beat Test Your Luck Towers with Jade originally because she was really good, right? Even without luckality, but even with luckality, just makes her even more powerful. She's really good with getting kills with luckality. Next is Geras. So Geras, he's an interesting character, one similar, like I say a lot. Geras, he has a lot of pretty good moves that can trigger it. However, it might be a little bit difficult just because he's a slow-moving character, and his activation speeds are a little bit slower. I'm going to put him probably good right behind Raiden, because he has that sand move, which is pretty good. But other than that, that's probably one of his best moves he has. But tell me if I'm wrong. Next is going to be Frost. So Frost has quite a bit of good moves. I'm trying to think of all of them because she has a lot that can trigger brutalities. I'm actually going to put her in Great. So the reason why I say Frost is great is because she has a lot of moves that can come with brutalities, and her Jinsei augment that like makes her like almost invincible. Like it makes it a lot easier to get, right? So yeah, I mean that's all I really have to say about it. It makes it super easy to get because you don't have to be super worried about getting hit a lot. So yeah, Frost, right? She's up there. Erron Black. So Erron is definitely in Great. Probably right here. The reason why I say Erron because he has some pretty good far range moves that can kill the opponent pretty quickly. And obviously he used bullets, so he can hit him a lot. And he just has some pretty good moves, especially with the drop kick. That thing activates all the time. I don't know why, but it just does. It's a fast move. With augments, it's unblockable. It's just extremely good. He has a lot of different moves that can trigger that all work together really well. So he's definitely up there. Next is D'Vorah. So D'Vorah is actually going to be good because she has that swarm that can fly out, and that when you get the Jinsei, you can shoot like a lot. So that thing can trigger, and then she has the close range, and she has the little teleport thing. But once again, those are all like blockable. So unless you have certain augments, but she's definitely a good character. Once again, those things are more slow, and obviously the swarm you have to be really close. But yeah. Next is Cetrion. So Cetrion, I'm kind of in a... Oh, never mind. She's definitely up with the best. The reason I say the best, because she has Jinsei augments that make some of her moves absolutely broken. Like her tornado move, like her earthquake, I think it was called, where she hits the ground. There are certain moves that she can hit the ground like 6 times, 7 times. And obviously each time it hits the ground, it could kill the opponent. She also has those massive meteors, and yeah, she has a lot of great moves that can trigger, you know, brutality. So she's definitely in the best. I use her a lot. Next is Cassie, definitely in the best. Trying to see exactly where to put her. Probably right here. So the reason why I say Cassie is definitely one of the best for brutality is because she has moves that are broken, especially with Jinseis. Feel free to check a lot of her out, but more importantly, she has her low shot where she goes down and shoots him in the kneecap or whatever it's called, where she shoots low, and with Jinsei augments, it can shoot like 8 bullets, and every time that bullet hits, it has a chance of activating that brutality. Also, she has this full screen unblockable thing where she can literally just hit the opponent with a little like green burst, and it fills up the whole screen with Jinsei augments, and it's unblockable with also more augments. So Cassie's absolutely broken. I'm actually kind of debating whether to put her in front of Noob Saibot, but Noob Saibot's still probably better. Baraka, he's definitely up there. Probably behind Sindel, because you do have to put a little work. So Baraka has a lot of moves. He has far ranged, and he has this really good move called Chop Chop, where you can basically infinite amplify it with different augments. You can just spam it, and eventually it will trigger. So, yeah. Yeah, that's actually gonna be my tier list. I'll probably make an update in the future, and if you want to see any other tier lists, feel free to comment that down below, like a normal tier list for PvE. But yeah, this is definitely the tier list for luckality. If you have any, if you disagree with me, feel free to tell me down below and tell me why. But this is definitely my tier list. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day.